Hello guys, how's it going? My name is Dalaran, and if you're someone who's been playing on Shadowlands, and if you ever tried battlegrounds, you'll find out that just about everybody's diving into BGs. Of course, with a brand new expansion and a brand new PvP season, everybody's trying to gear out as soon as possible. But unlike Battle for Azeroth, people are actually using battlegrounds to gear, whether it is for PvP or even PvE. A lot of you guys popped into the stream earlier as we were hanging out in BGs, epic battlegrounds as well as random BGs, just trying to farm up some honor for gear. A lot of you guys were surprised, and genuinely so, that gearing in PvP through PvP is actually finally possible again with this expansion, something that was kind of lost on us in the last one, but actually is making a comeback in this one, and it looks much better this time around. So in this video, I'm going to go over everything that everybody is doing right now to gear in PvP, and how you can get yourself some easy item level to get into groups easier through PvP honor grinding. So when it comes to gearing your character, there are different avenues for you to get into. There is, of course, the PvE side of the game, where you, let's say, start with world quests and you get some gear here and there after questing. Then you might hit up normal dungeons and see if you might be able to get yourself more loot. With the changes that have happened in this expansion, you actually get a lot less gear with dungeon bosses, and it's even going to be capped with raids. Long story short, Blizzard wanted to throw less garbage gear at you, because in BFA you got a lot of gear, just majority of it wasn't any good. And then you were looking for things with sockets or maybe with leech or other bonuses, and it just never was enough. So Blizzard decided to lower the amount of gear. They want to make better gear but throw less of it at you, which I think is an interesting step, and it's going to be interesting how this will work out in this expansion. But that means grinding dungeons in order to get high enough item level to get from normals to heroics is also going to take longer. And if you're someone who's super impatient and just wants to get that sweet juicy item level for the intellect, strength, and agility, which right now this early in the expansion are your best stats, so just about anything is an upgrade, PvP actually ends up being a pretty great avenue with lots of honor that you can get from BGs, epic BGs, and even a weekly quest. And with a revamp to the PvP system, it's a lot more cohesive. So let's start from scratch. We have a PvP vendor returning in Shadowlands, actually a couple of them. One of them is going to be an honor vendor, another is going to be your conquest points vendor, and then we'll have an upgrade vendor. And also we'll have weekly rewards for PvPing. And it looks like PvPing is actually one of the fastest and maybe even easiest, depending on some of you guys' mileage, if you get really lucky in some of the good queues or really unlucky. But for the most part, you get a lot of honor, and being able to gear yourself head to toe in PvP gear seems like a breeze. To give you guys more detail, these vendors can be found where you chose your covenants, so in the same room where you decided to become part of the Fae, the Kyrian, the Ventir, or maybe even the Necrolords of Maldraxxus, you'll also have these vendors. On the left side we have ourselves Purveyor Zokul, and sorry if I butchered these names. He's going to be the accessor of Conflict, which is the honor vendor. You have a variety of different things on there, like trinkets, which are no longer on the talent slot. Instead, they have to be in the trinket slot, which I believe might make Alliance actually a little bit better, because the human ratio to break stuns might be huge. So maybe they might have potential to go for double DPS trinkets. If you're someone who's just getting into PvP, I suggest getting this Sinful Aspirant's Medallion. Don't worry about the adaptation or the Relentless trinket. I would just go get the normal medallion. Upon closer examination, you'll notice that all the gear with the honor vendor will have a lot of versatility on it. Every single piece is going to be verse heavy. There are pieces with verse crit, verse mastery, and verse haste, as in this expansion Blizzard is treating versatility as the unofficial PvP stat. In fact, it's been the stat that a lot of us have stacked back in Battle for Azeroth, so it makes sense for versatility to kind of shine in this gear. Now, there isn't everything on the table. Blizzard does want you to do other content, dungeons, maybe even raids, and get your best in slot pieces from a variety of content. But if you want to mostly get PvP gear to PvP, this gear packed with versatility should be pretty good. This might be a bit of a bummer for some of you guys that are thinking of getting PvP gear in order to do dungeons, or to maybe get into raids at a later time, because you need the item level, and you know everybody's going to be requesting a certain item level before they even let you enter into these groups. Some of you guys might like haste, and you might be able to take a bunch of gear from here that has haste, and versa not being the worst stat, honestly. But there are some awesome items, especially if you're a caster, that will give you a lot of haste, faster casts, and less globals, which is something a lot of people crave. I suggest picking up the Sinful Aspirant Badge of Ferocity, or the insignia, because both of those come with haste on demand and with an extra bonus effect to give you extra primary stat. Then on the opposite side, we have ourselves Aggressor Zodash. This vendor is particularly interesting because he even lets you upgrade your honor gear. So the gear that you buy from the honor vendor can actually be upgraded, and with higher renown, which will be in future weeks of this expansion, you'll be able to upgrade those coveted pieces to a higher item level. Of course, the honor pieces are going to have a maximum cap. You're not going to be using them once the raid comes out and the PvP season begins. You'll want to start swapping that gear out for something better. But if you're someone who's trying to get some easy item levels, now you can buy specific pieces and even upgrade those specific pieces if they fit your class. To finish off our round off, we have ourselves the Conquest vendor. This one will be available for purchase at a later time once the seasonal stuff begins and you can dive into arenas. But this video is primarily about honor points, honor gear, and honor grinding that can give you some great item level worth of pieces to catch up to everybody if you're someone who's looking to gain some item level very quickly. So what are some of the things you can do in order to maximize your honor gained without really putting a crazy amount of effort? Now, the craziest effort would be to have a pre-made and win every single BG. But not everybody is in that situation, and while BGs are fun on their own, being able to burst someone down and stun lock him as a rogue is extremely enjoyable for me, but you are there to get honor. So what are the easiest ways for you to do so? First of all, the weekly quest. You'll start it at the beginning of every single week. There will be a weekly quest in order to gain honor inside of battlegrounds. Now, this quest doesn't work for epic BGs right now, it works for random BGs, and it doesn't apply to bonus honor. So if you are playing your battlegrounds and you are collecting honor, for winning or losing, it doesn't account that honor. It accounts honor for slaying enemies, capturing objectives, actually playing the game. So just pick it up at the beginning of the week and enjoy yourself in battlegrounds. Don't think too much about how much honor you're getting or anything. It's a weekly quest, so it's turned in at the start of the week and resets on the next week. You don't have to blaze through it in a single sitting, but that's free 500 honor. Another thing I noticed when I played these BGs, and while they are not everyone's cup of tea, epic battlegrounds are extremely, and I really mean this, lucrative for anyone trying to get themselves some free honor. You have quests inside of epic BGs, and if you can accomplish them, it's thousands and thousands of honor. Plus, in epic battlegrounds, once you get into them, you gain baseline more honor because it's a lot bigger. There's a lot more players to slay. Honor kills are everywhere. There's a lot bigger activities to act with. And while not everyone might be able to actually participate in them because they do take quite a significant portion of your time, I think it's still worth to try to see if you can get a daily epic BG win, because the amount of honor it gives you the first time around is quite a lot. Then, of course, there's battlegrounds. Just have fun, queue in. Win or lose, you get honor anyway, and that's the good part about this. With dungeons, and especially Mythic Zeros, right now you're either lucky and you get something or you're not. In honor and BGs, you get to work for those honor points, use those points to buy specific gear, well, mostly versatility, but at least you know exactly what you're getting, and then upgrade that said piece, if let's say it's something that's really good for you, to a higher rank without any RNG. Again, all it is going to be versatility heavy gear, but that is actually quite rewarding and something that's different for some of you guys, because if let's say you played in the last few expansions, Legion didn't really have a PvP vendor. It kind of did, but it only item level mattered. In BFA, there was kind of a PvP thing, vendor-ish, but not really. So it's just so different with this expansion, but it's the good kind of different. And of course, BGs are always fun. It's super interesting to see how my Outlaw Rogue spec is performing against sub-rogues, against Shadow Priests, against Warlocks, against Paladins and Warriors, just seeing how it all interacts, and just PvP is generally fun. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for checking out this video. If you're someone who was interested in maybe gearing in BGs and with honor points, now might be the perfect opportunity for you to do so. Thank you all so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see all of you in another video.